Minister, the Dublin City Task Force report was published in October of 2024, and there was a lot of fanfare around it at the time, and was presented very much as a definitive blueprint to reclaim the capital streets after the events of the Dublin riots and a wider visible decline in public safety across the inner city. And big move number 4 of that report was about the deployment of a minimal additional 1,000 Gardai within the city centre on a phased basis. And that number wasn't pulled out of thin air. 1,000 extra Gardaí was seen as the minimum required to meet European average policing standards for a city of this size. We're now well into 2022, and for the people who are living, who are working, who are commuting across Dublin, the reality on the ground does tell a very different story. The net increase in Garda numbers across the city centre districts is 40 in the year and a half since the report was published. So, Minister, can you give me a timeline for when you believe the additional 1,000 Gardaí will be provided?
Minister.
Thanks very much, Deputy. Obviously, we are committed to following what's set out in the Task Force report. I can't give you a date when there are going to be 1,000 extra Gardaí in the city, but what I can give you is assurance from just being around the city centre, as you can see as I can, that we now have high visibility policing in our city centre in Dublin, and that has had a transformative effect. We are getting Gardaí who previously were in stations out on the street patrolling, and it is providing a great sense of confidence and safety to people who come into Dublin. And my own view is it's had a very significant impact. I want to commend the Commissioner in respect of it. Obviously, in order to keep that going and to ensure that other aspects of Garda services are continued, we need to get more recruits in. And it's about getting the numbers up. But as I say to you, it's a positive outlook there at present. Not only is recruitment going very well, and we had a new recruitment campaign, but also retention within Garda Síochána is very high. Like less than 1%, or approximately 1%, resign from Garda Síochána on an annual basis, which is extremely low.
Thanks, Minister. I suppose just to put the numbers in perspective, we've seen about a 4% increase in Garda numbers in the city centre. So on the current trajectory, in order to meet that that figure of 1,000 additional Gardaí, we look like we'll meet that somewhere around 2063. And I hope, Minister, you can understand the frustration people feel when governments announce big headline figures, and your colleague, the Taoiseach, the then Taoiseach, he wrote a big editorial in the Irish Independent after that report was published, and I remember he used this lines, "I'm up for it, are you?" And it doesn't sound really like you and your department are up for achieving recommendation number 4, this 1,000 extra Gardaí. This is absolutely central to creating a sense of safety, a sense of security across both the inner city but also in the communities living in the inner city. This isn't just about, as you said to Deputy Gannon earlier on, Gardaí outside of Leinster House. This is Gardaí located in communities creating a sense of safety. And again, can you give us some indication of when those 1,000 Gardaí will be available?
Minister.
Well, Deputy, I remain committed to recommendation number 4. I want to see an extra 1,000 Gardaí in Dublin. However, like you were in government as well, you know that things don't just happen with a click of a finger or happen overnight. In order to get 1,000 new Gardaí into the force in Dublin, I need to recruit them nationally. But that can't happen just overnight. And as somebody who's in government, I'm sure you can appreciate the challenges that are associated with that. In terms of what I said to Deputy Gannon, the point I was making about the previous opposition spokesperson who had said on another occasion was that when you walk around Dublin, not just outside Leinster House, when you walk around Dublin, high visibility of Gardaí is evident. And that is the case. Like, people are saying it to me, people are saying to lots of people in this House, it is apparent, and it's having a dramatic improving impact on the city and people's sense of safety. So, rather than, I remain committed to recommendation number 4, but the most important priority is to get Gardaí out in the streets so people feel a sense of safety, not just in the city centre, but in residential areas as well, throughout the country.